This video covers the most important aspects of the syllabus. You must read the entire syllabus. There is some boilerplate language in the second half of it, which I'm not going to go through, but you must read. There are lots of things that is just plain information, which doesn't require much explanation. So I'm going to skip over all that. I will be focusing on a few important things. The first thing is the fact that this is a synchronous online class, which means there will be a meeting every Wednesday evening. You must come to class. I will be taking attendance, and you don't get credit for work done in class unless you show up. You must have a webcam, and you must have the video and audio turned on during the meeting, except when recording is in progress. That is the first thing. Second aspect that I want to focus on is the fact that this course is an introduction to problem solving using computers. For most of you, and for all of you, if you haven't used, if you haven't done any programming, is the fact that this is an entirely different way of thinking. The study material is to learn how to take a problem and solve it using a computer, which means you need to think through the problem, arrive at a solution, and that thinking process is very, very different. And that takes a while to master. You must be patient, you must give it time, and you have to master the material covered every week before learning the material the following week, which means you must be giving this course a lot of time and effort. And if you don't do that, you will not be successful. At the end of this course, you will be able to write programs for relatively simple problems, but you'll be able to write interesting programs. And the prerequisites are you must have good math background in college algebra or pre-calc or stat 1, and you must have good skills in using a laptop or a desktop. It's not enough that you have used a phone. Okay, the textbook for this course is given here. You must buy it. Now, the next important thing that I want to talk about are the kinds of things we do and how you will be graded. There is a lecture every week, but I'm not going to lecture during class time. I'll be posting all the lectures online. You must watch those videos. You must read the textbook and take a quiz before coming to class. If you don't do that, you won't get much out of these meetings. What happens during the class time most weeks are two things. One is a class exercise. During the class meeting, I will put the students into different groups randomly assigned by Zoom, and you will be in a separate room. Each person will be in a room with 3 or 4 students, and you will be solving problems that are found in a D2L quiz, and you will be discussing with your group mates how to approach the problem and answer questions and submit them before the deadline. You may have about an hour and a half or so to do all these problems, and then you turn that in. I will be popping in and out of rooms, helping you with these problems as needed. And then the second important activity that happens almost every week is labs, which you must do independently. So each student will be in a separate room, no group work, and you will be working on a problem, understanding the problem, writing a solution, and submitting it, and then you can leave. But then there are 3 weeks when we have exams. Those exam dates are given here, and during exams, you will be solving multiple choice questions as well as programming questions, and you must take them during the scheduled time unless you get an excuse for because of disability or something else, and that will be there will be 3 exams. There is no cumulative final exam. Okay. The exam dates are given in the syllabus. Then the other things, let's look here. Yeah, there are 11, yeah, the programming assignments are here. There are 11 programming assignments which you must take, which you must do before the deadline. You usually have a week to complete them. You can work in a group of 2 if you want, but you must inform me as soon as the assignment is handed out, if you want to do that. Then there are, on top of all this, 7 reading assignments which you must read and do a quiz. So there are 7 reading assignments on these topics. There are deadlines for all these quizzes. I will not be covering any of this in class. It's entirely your task to read and understand and do the quizzes. You can start as early as you wish, but there are deadlines for completing every quiz. Then, as I said before coming to class, you have to take a quiz. Now, how will you be graded? Well, there are so many different categories here. They are all different techniques, as you might have seen, to help you learn the material, right? So assignments help you, labs will help you, etc. So you must do all of these. And here are the points for the various categories. We talked about the home quizzes. There are 7 of them for a total of 70 points. 11 assignments for a total of 220, but I'll be capping this at 210, which means even if you miss a few points here and there for assignments, you will still get the maximum. Similarly for labs, with 12 labs, 20 points each, you will see that the total is 240, but I'm capping this at 220 so that you still have a little bit of wiggle room for making mistakes. Similarly for class exercises, home quizzes, there is capping. There are 3 exams. As I said, there is no cumulative final for a total of 300. All these add up to 1,000, and you have to get a 700 to get a C minus. So your course grade will be based on this table, but subject to obtaining a minimum number of points for each category. For example, if you must get 35 out of 70 for home quizzes, or 150 out of 300 for exams. you will see that this is pretty much 50% of the maximum possible. That is the minimum you have to get. And the total you have to get is 700 at least to make a C minus. If you don't get 150 out of 300 for the exams, your maximum possible grade will be a C. If you don't make the minimum in 2 or more categories, your maximum grade is going to be a C. If you don't meet the minimum in any one category, your grade will be reduced by a shade. For example, suppose you made a total of 890 points. Suppose your total number of points out of 1000 was 890. Then that means it is a B plus. But let's assume that you did not make 50 points in home quizzes. Then your grade will drop to a B. That is one shade below. Now, most of us have other obligations, and we may also have some unforeseen situations where we fail to meet deadlines, or you might have a webcam that didn't work during a class meeting. There are so many things that could go wrong, and I don't want to penalize you heavily for all of these. So what I am doing to make things uniform for all students is allow every student 4 excuses, up to 4 excuses. So for example, if you don't come to class with a webcam and do the lab, you don't get credit. But you can be excused by using one of your excuses. So you have 4 excuses to start with. It goes down by 1 if you use that excuse to get credit for that lab. Or suppose an assignment was due on October 1st and you didn't turn it in on by the last day for submission, and instead of losing all the points, you can use an excuse point to get some credit. It is up to me to decide whether I should let you use the excuse. I might refuse it if I don't think your excuse is valid, is justified, and I will certainly not allow it if I have already published the answer to the corresponding lab or class exercise or quiz or whatever. Okay. We're reaching the end of what I wanted to highlight. This is the schedule for every meeting. I have written the meeting number and the date and the topics covered here. And I have created a separate table with the major deadlines. Not all of it is here, but many things are. Hopefully the dates are all correct. If you notice anything wrong, let me know. I will correct. Okay.